Hey everybody, welcome back to the Toy Duo team. Roll the music.
When you have addiction and your shelves are overflowing, hold tight. When you don't know what new is coming, but you fear you might miss out. Just sit right back, just relax and watch you listen. The Toy Duo team brings you what you need. The toy news you didn't know you needed. Action figures, TV news, all the pop culture you can handle.
I love it when a plan comes together. What?
On your shelf.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Toy Duo team. We're here this week talking about action figures and more. How's everybody doing today?
Fantastic.
Doing
It's
okay.
John, you're going to have to explain your name. I get Just Dan, but what is Jonas C. Baioth?
It was a dark Jedi in Heir to the Empire.
Were you? Oh, because were you streaming Heir to the Empire recently?
No, it's because I got this 3-pack in the mail.
Oh, is that part of your?
That we'll show later. We'll talk about later.
All right. Anyways, it's been.
If Eric was here, he would have got it.
Yeah. He probably would have been all over it. Like, oh yeah, he probably would have been holding up the same pack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. All right. Yeah, it's been kind of interesting week. The show's probably not going to be very long because I don't think there's that many reveals to talk about, honestly. Oh, wait a minute. They did do that Marvel Legends. So we will talk about that a little bit coming up. You know what I did not do? I did not do that funniest stuff on the internet this week because I just didn't find anything really that funny. But if anybody finds something, you can always point it in my direction.
I can't believe that there wasn't anything funny on the internet this week.
I know, yeah.
You know what? I was reading a page and then like I forgot to bookmark it, and then I was like, oh, what was that? And I was trying to recreate like the search. It never works. It never works.
No, it doesn't. Yeah.
But anyways, let's say hi to Ricardo. That's Q66. We got Gap here. We got Gary's Grills, Jonathan Redman. Let's see. David R is here. And I'm sure some more people will show up as we get going. So
you
I
can't
guess
even find a movie again when you're like, if you ever been on an app like one of the off ones like Tubi or something.
Yeah.
And you just see like this movie and you're like, oh, that looks kind of interesting. I haven't never seen that. I'll check it out. And then you fall asleep halfway through and you wake up later on and it's playing something else because it autoplays afterwards. And then you're like, well, I only saw half that movie. I'd like to see how it ends. And you can't find it again because you don't remember the name.
But if you go to your on the web and go through your history, you should be able to like find it.
Is it saved on the web as history? Okay.
For some apps, because I found, so what I did was I went to like the Netflix one time because I wanted to see when I watched my first K-drama. And I went back and I was like, oh, it was that long ago, really? Because for some reason in my mind, I'm like, everything is the beginning of COVID. That's as far back as like I think stuff happened, but it was like 10 years before. Yeah.
You can get a free account with Tubi, and you can track and save your favorites and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I do think that falling asleep in the middle is a John and Dean problem of a movie because I
probably. Here's the thing: is like if I fall asleep in the middle of a movie, even if I'm really tired, like if I don't do something like turn it off so I can watch it later, I don't really know how much it's worth wanting to go back.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I probably wouldn't want to watch it anyway.
All right. Talking about movies, John, let's do the TV and movie news you didn't know you needed. But first of all, I want to go back to one of Gap's comments because he said up here, which I thought was pretty fun, it's the welcome to the stream you didn't know you needed to watch. See, I've always been a catchphrase kind of person since like watching the Terminator. So that's kind of one of the reasons I was doing the you didn't know you needed thing. I just thought it would be kind of funny and see if it could catch on. So hopefully you're talking to them. All your neighbors. Let me tell you about the garage door opener you didn't know you needed to know.
He's walking around saying everything you didn't know you needed.
Yeah. Judge Dreads joined us there. He's saying hello and everything in the chat. Okay, so the TV and movie news you didn't know you needed. I guess this week, if you haven't seen it already, Captain America Brave New World is streaming for free on Disney Plus if you pay for a subscription, so I guess not really free. And I'm surprised that the promo for it is now on Disney Plus. For those of you who haven't seen it, or what did they say when it went to digital? Be the first to watch. That's what it said.
On digital, yeah.
Yeah, when it went to digital.
I probably was one of the first ones to watch it on digital because as soon as it popped up, I was like, oh, I can finally watch it.
Now, did you feel that the Red Hulk, you two, Dan, did you guys feel that the Red Hulk was inconsistent in size?
I didn't
In
notice.
power. Yeah.
I didn't notice, actually.
I feel like go watch that helicopter scene again on the top of the building. For those of you who haven't seen it, there's going to be spoilers that I've already said, so sorry. I felt like the Hulk was different sizes in comparison to the helicopters. And I know that there you can do a perspective thing, but every time it was like within the range of how I felt. Either the helicopter shrank so he could grab it or he got bigger. I don't know what it was. It just seemed off.
He got bigger with more angry he got. That's what I thought was going on.
Gap is saying that who cares about Captain America and Red Hulk? And he's always telling me that I always pick shows that nobody wants to see. Now I am watching this Department Q on Netflix that just came out. If you guys are into detective type shows, it's kind of like a detective who rubs everybody the wrong way, and then he gets relegated down to the basement to open a cold case office. So
I think I've seen that 100 different times on 100 different shows.
yes, but this one is British.
See, I think they should do like, I've been waiting for the crime series where all the criminals are supernatural.
Oh, okay, like Supernatural.
So like what if this department was set up and they're like, all right, you guys got to go down and solve all these cold cases, and while they're down there trying to solve it, they realize, hey, wait a minute, this was perpetuated by a werewolf. Or what if this was done by a demon who was like taking over, possessing people and causing them to
Oh
do
my
these
gosh,
crimes?
John. That's
know?
a great premise. What if the detective, right, could see them in their demon form? And he was the only one who could see them in demon form. And somehow he had kind of like fighting abilities and kind of greater strength also, and had like an RV that maybe had all this kind of like equipment in it, and maybe like books about all the demons and what their weaknesses were and stuff like that. And then he comes from a long line of like these like people who can see the demons. And he's in Portland, Oregon.
Well, right?
No, Grimm.
Oddly specific.
I think they made the show you wanted to see.
I think I already watched Grimm though.
All
It
right.
got canceled.
Or Buffy.
But I did see Captain America: Brave New World, and I actually didn't think it was all that bad.
It was good. It was okay.
I thought that the negativity around it just really wasn't 100% justified, because I mean, it wasn't like anything that blew me away. I could care less if I saw it or not. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But I was entertained in the moment watching it, and I ate half a bag of popcorn. So I mean, it was like I have we got one of these bags of popcorn from Publix, and they watching it. So, but I mean, I didn't think it was like terrible. It was a good popcorn action movie. You know what I mean?
It was.
Yeah.
It was good. I mean, I liked it for the most part. There were some things with the special effects that I was like, oh, okay, I get it. I wish because I saw it in the theater too. So I was like, on Disney Plus, this is going to look great. That's and I rewatched it on digital. So
Yeah.
All right. And they're talking about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Let's see. Sounds like Constantine to them, John. If you want to watch Constantine, Torchwood already did that. I think there was that Van Helsing, or the show Helsing or whatever.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm trying to say is that like a lot of those shows had someone who was paranormal going against the demons and stuff. And I kind of want to just see a show with like ordinary people in an ordinary life where that stuff wasn't supposed to be real. Like in Supernatural, it's the universe that they set up that it's not like the brothers were ever really shocked to find a werewolf fighting. You know what I mean? They were like,
Yeah,
oh,
I get it.
you know what I mean? That
Well,
that's
Grim did that because his fellow officer, before he realized, he went into shock basically when he found out and stuff like that, and people, unbelievable. What about
kind of like that? I mean, I know this was a
Ross
comedy, but do you remember that? I know it was a comedy show, but I think it was also British or it was New Zealand. I think it might have been New Zealand, but they had that group of cops that were, what the heck was the name of it? It's not going to matter unless I know the name of the show, but
okay, that's fine.
They, there was like regular cops who, I think it was a New Zealand or Australian show, and they just went out and they were policing they actually filmed it kind of like an episode of Cops, where they were out like canvassing the neighborhood and they're driving their car around, like talking into the camera, like, oh, we got a domestic dispute call.
Are you talking about that movie with Bill Murray?
It wasn't
where
a movie.
The zombies
it was a
attacked?
TV series. They had like 4 seasons of it.
Like it's like a Reno 911, but it was like creatures or something.
Yeah, and when they got to the domestic abuse call, it was a werewolf beating up a lady.
Oh no, I never saw that.
They were like, "What the crap?"
All right.
Nope, and half the police department didn't believe anything was real. You know what I mean? So it was kind of funny, but they did it as a comedy. I was just thinking like a real.
You should write that. Cap's calling. Okay. Anyways, this is also in theaters this week. So is anybody running out to watch Karate Kid Legends?
I had no idea this was even in theaters already. I heard it was in production last week, and then all of a sudden it's out.
No, we talked about this like a year ago.
Did we really?
Yeah, I had a first.
I thought that was Cobra Kai we were talking about.
No, I had a first screenshot of this show where they were first talking about how Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio were going to team up to train a new Karate Kid. Apparently LaRusso's in the show, in this movie too. I think he does like an end credit scene or something like that.
My question.
Yes.
Yeah, are you going to watch it?
Yeah, when it's on digital.
Yeah, when it's on digital.
So I don't want to spoil it for anybody that has watched it, but I guess I'm just asking the question. I'm curious if they're going to acknowledge Cobra Kai.
I think they have to.
I feel like they do because they've got Danny in it, right? So
right, but I think that the idea is that he leaves LA, so that's why all the Cobra Kai people aren't in it, right? He leaves LA to go train this guy, and it's not necessarily karate; it's like kung fu, so it doesn't cross over into the same type of fighting championships, is my guess. And that from what I got from the trailers is that the kung fu that he's teaching the kid, that Jackie Chan's teaching kid, is paired with the Miyagi-Do style karate somehow. I don't know. Ancient. Maybe that's where, I don't know. It looks like the trailers look really good, but I've already been in the movies a couple of times in the last few weeks for Thunderbolts and Mission Impossible. And I don't think I'm going to go back to the theater until probably Superman.
Superman is the next one I want to see. Yeah.
All right. Zero online buzz. Yeah, zero online buzz. I haven't hardly seen anything about it. I did see this end credit scene with Johnny Lawrence and Macchio. But anyways, okay. So now to the show that John's been waiting for. It is Bragging Camp. So is there anything that you guys have or want to show off this week or want to talk about?
Wellington Paranormal was the cop show in New Zealand. Yeah.
All right.
Well, yeah, I got the Heir to the Empire 3-pack with Joris Saboth, Captain Gilead Pellion, and Grand Admiral Thrawn.
So, Papa Smurf, Charlton Heston. Those are vintage collection, right?
Yeah, they're vintage collection figures in the.
That's pretty cool.
Were they gonna get? Heard the Smurfs is gonna have a big name for.
They have a new movie coming out. I saw the trailer for it.
And who was Smurfette? I thought it was somebody.
It's Rihanna.
Rihanna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Rock and Roll showed up.
Oh, that's cool. That's the oh, he does look pretty good in that. If you want to increase the value of that, what you can do is get a little reddish orange paint, go over the hair and the beard, and you might have yourself a prince. What's the guy that gave up being a prince?
I don't know.
The helicopter pilot.
To start an OnlyFans or
No, you can make them look like
I thought you were gonna say
the dude that moved to the States.
another version of
They married the lady from Suits. What's his name?
be another version of Outback or something.
Prince Harry.
Yeah, there you go. Prince Harry Jetras. Yeah. Kind of has a Prince Harry look when he was a helicopter. And then you could put him in your Dragonfly.
He comes with a walkie-talkie and
He's still a prince, then he didn't give
a
up.
battery or something like that.
I don't know if he's still considered a prince because I think he gave up his title. Yeah.
I don't have that one on the retro card. I'm just looking, John. Thought I did.
Why would you give up your title? I would just keep it.
Do you have anything, Dan?
I don't, man. I don't. Although I do have. So that Pamela Voorhees
Uh-huh.
is in my my bag of loot. What's Big Bad Toy Store call it?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Your pile of
loot.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So as soon as I'm waiting for one more to come out. It's supposed to be Q2, and when that does, I'll have that one. So
Nice.
I'll be able to share that one when I've got it.
All right. And then I will show off this Masters of the Universe Thundercats
I like to
shell.
Look at that.
So I'm interested to see how this guy will transform over and look like Mumra. I think it looks pretty cool so far. The box looks great.
Yeah, it'd be better to just swap the head and make him Mumra. Yeah, that would make sense.
That's what he comes with all the parts to do that. So I'm gonna when I get around to it. Okay.
Where'd you find that one, Vern?
I'll tell you later.
Oh, Spence is killing me.
All right. Let's see. All right. So normally what I do at this point is we would do the history of something. We've been doing like history of toys or whatever, but this week I thought I'd do something a little bit different because of the Marvel Legends panel. So this is a little bit of a spoiler for the reveals, but I thought it would be appropriate. And one of the reasons why I thought about doing this was because I had put the Gargantos video where they were manipulating the eye up, and I started getting a lot of comments about the name of the character. So I thought we would do, we just did that.
We did.
A very brief history of superheroes you didn't know you needed. I know he's not a superhero, but I originally had this set up and I thought we would start going through maybe some of the Marvel superheroes or something like that.
Superhero villain.
Yeah, so superhero villain. So this is a little segment about who is Gargantos. So you didn't see the reveals, right, John? Did you see any of the pictures?
No.
Okay, so they announced.
I told you I was cleaning my glasses all morning.
Okay.
And he fell asleep.
Yep.
So they revealed Gargantos is going to be in the reveals, but thought it would be interesting because a lot of people are saying, "Oh, that's Shuma Gorath," because in the Capcom video game, he was known as Shuma Gorath, and so everybody wants to know why are they calling him Gargantos, and I thought it would be kind of interesting to talk about it a little bit. Because they also had this big creature in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and they also called him there Gargantos. And if you watch some of the commentary, they make it very clear that Gargantos and Shuma Gorath are two completely different creatures. Okay, so it's like they are setting the stone or paving the way to make sure you know it's not the same character. And I think the reason why they put that, the guy was sure to say that, is because of the stuff we were talking about last week with that Superman and Joe Shuster's family suing for the rights for Superman every single time a Superman movie comes out. Because I think with this, you could have like heirs to a certain family or a company who owns rights saying, hey, Marvel, we call foul. So you got Suma Gorath and Gargantos. And I'm going to take this down really quick. So on the left under Suma Gorath, you see him with Doctor Strange. That's why I think that loosely saying that one in Doctor Strange is Gargantos is a little bit like misleading or wrong, right? Because Suma Gorath is a dimensional being, and Gargantos was basically a gigantic octopus style creature. You can start throwing up chats again if you want. That what first appeared basically in Submariner.
Yeah.
So a little bit of background on Suma
And
Gorath.
Gargantos actually had two eyes because he was one on each side of his head.
Does he?
Was a giant octopus.
Yeah, well, like a giant octopus type creature, right? Because they only ever show him with like the one eye.
Do they? Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, Suma Gorath basically is owned by Heroic Signatures, right, which is part of Funcom, and they own the rights. It was first mentioned back in the 1920s by Robert Howard in Curse of the Golden Skull. And basically it was a single sentence where they said something like the iron bound books of Suma Gorath, right? That's how it's said in the book. But they first appeared, it was in Marvel Premiere in this 3 to 14 story arc. So you had Suma Gorath appear, and he was the ruler of hundreds of dimensions. He came to the Earth realm millions of years, ruling the Earth and feasting on the ape men of the time. So Suma Gorath has been around a long time.
That's crazy.
I'm sorry?
I said that's crazy.
Yeah. And I would say that this Suma Gorath, except for the fact that he's like purple, right? It falls more in line with what we saw in Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
Gargantos is a gargantuan octopus that dwells under the sea and is controlled by the Emperor Naga of the Undersea Kingdom. His first appearance was in 1969 in Submariner number 13. And I got like some shots from the book where he defeats, basically, it takes him like 3 pages, and he defeats Gargantos. He kills him basically. And then we don't see him again until this X Factor annual in 1986, where it's like a Submariner story at the end of the annual. And that's basically the only time you see him. The one screen shot where you see Gargantos again.
Huh.
Just a little snippet.
So,
and Lemuria is arguably a real place, or was.
Right. And then... So basically, I mean, like if you think about that, right? Really, the Gargantos, the name basically just comes down to the fact that Marvel, instead of wanting to negotiate with Heroic Signatures to license the name Suma Gorath, they just opted to use the name Gargantos because basically they own it.
Tentacles, it works.
Yeah. So when you're thinking about this Gargantos that they just revealed, he probably should actually be Suma Gorath.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that? You think that in a way they could go back and hit Marvel with the rights and say, no, there's no comic iteration basically of your character being an interdimensional being, of which Doctor Strange would fight. You know what I mean?
I don't think so. I think if they really make a point to say it's a different creature, then it's a different creature.
You think that them just saying it?
Because it's not purple.
I guess.
Yeah.
All right. I think it's kind of right on the line a little bit.
Yeah, it probably
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Because I
But
mean,
that's-
it's kind of like if DC Comics decided, okay, here's what we're gonna do. We don't want to pay any more rights to them, so we're gonna make Supra Man, like
Right.
SUPRAMAN, and yeah, he's gonna have a different style S on his shirt, but it's still gonna be an S.
Or
And,
maybe Avengers with a Z.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not copyrightable at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. That's hilarious. Anyways, I thought that was pretty interesting. I was on the one short video I made, I was getting a lot of comments about Suma Gorath. Oh yeah, it's just a copyright issue. And yeah, that's what it really boils down to, right? The Capcom version is Suma Gorath. They probably, if they were going to call it a gaming Capcom line, maybe should have used Suma Gorath and just said, hey, we want to use the name. But
bite the bullet and pay whatever they were asking.
Yeah. So I'm curious though how much research like the Marvel team did, or if they just said, "Oh, that creature is called Gargantos from Multiverse of Madness. We'll just use that." Like if they even bothered, like if they even knew, you know what I mean?
Well, it's not the Star Wars team, so I think they probably knew.
Yeah, I would hope so because they seem pretty well read, right?
Yeah.
And it would have been. I almost feel like it would have been nice for them to say, "Hey, this is Gargantos, not Suma Gorath, Gargantos." You know what I mean? And maybe explain, since they were doing the Capcom reveals, why they, I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. It is kind of weird, though. You're right. If this is a Gaming Greats Marvel Legends based on the Capcom game, then why would it have a different name? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the crazy part.
Because it's not a Multiverse of Madness boxed figure.
Right.
For Marvel Legends. It's actually a Gamerverse one.
Yeah, it was presented along with all the Capcom. So, it was definitely in that Capcom.
Well, that really doesn't make sense. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because anyone who played that game would say it's Suma Gorath. Yeah.
Everybody's saying it. Everybody who watches that video says that's Suma Gorath. I don't care what they call it, whatever. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's green in the pictures. If you look back at the Capcom,
he looks just like the game. Yeah, if you look back at the picture, yeah. That is very strange.
I think it's a bigger risk what they did.
Yeah.
Suma
Gorath, yeah. And I just think it's kind of, I thought it was kind of interesting how they retcon the name and stuff like that. But
on the figure, I noticed Jonathan and Judge were talking about this figure should come with a stand. I don't know what the price point is, but I'm sure those tentacles will help them stand, as they were saying. But I think also, like just a cheap little pedestal or something would have been nice.
Oh, just to get them up. I'm hoping that. Yeah. Oh, to get them completely off the ground would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you look at the video game, he is using those tentacles to crawl
to walk,
on.
Yeah.
To
Yeah. And the pictures that they took, like, have him standing like kind of on his tentacles, right? Holding his stuff. So we'll see some more of that in the Hot or Not section, which will probably start right now because we're moving kind of along. And I didn't actually scour the internet for the humorous content stuff, and I thought maybe the pickups were going to go a little bit longer. You know what I did want to do though? No, that's okay.
He wanted to leave the stream. Look at that.
He's like, really?
No. So what? This is at Gridiron Studios. I will show this off. So this is at Gridiron Studios.
Yeah.
And what happened was they came up with some smaller wheels for the front because originally it came with the same size wheels in the back. So they came up with some different wheels for the front that are a little narrower. They're the same, almost the same height and everything, but I think it does give it kind of a little bit better look with those narrower wheels. It looks a little bit more like the Striker. And then before we get into, I'm going to show you guys this thing that just came up on Gridiron. Now, tell me what you guys think of this when I pull it up. taking me a while. Hold on. Share screen. I know nothing has come up yet. Let me take that down. Okay, so this is on a new Gridiron Studios. It is the Jungle Phalanx. They want $400 for it. But basically,
Wow. That is incredible.
Right? Hold on, let me.
Now, do you suppose that as far as like size comparison goes, like where would you put that with the ramen tank?
Well, see, I'm looking at 6 guys in the back and a driver up front.
Yeah.
It's got to be big.
And I just wish that they would have put it like next to like maybe one of their other vehicles. So I'm thinking like twice the length or the length of. Well, I'll show you here in a second.
Of your truck.
Yeah. So you see, you got the thing on the back, right? Well, you know what? 4 wheels. Okay, so it's 4 wheels lengths. Let's say so. That's
those wheels are a little bit bigger than the Striker.
Yeah. Okay, so like 4 wheel lengths, let's say. And then I'll do this. So I had picked up this extension for the vamp or so this piece that goes on the back, right?
It's pretty nice.
It's supposed to have a mountable piece up here. Icon here.
That's pretty cool.
So it is kind of, and then it's got this like hatch door that like opens in the back. It all comes down like a ramp. But you put one more wheel here, right? You maybe got about the same length, but much taller, right? So you can get the inside.
Does that come with the extra wheel?
So this piece right here detaches. It has the wheel, and then it also has like these pieces here where it creates like sort of like a holder, so you can just set this up as like a mobile command center with like the little arm to help keep it stabilized. And then it has like the little computer system in here. And then normally there would be like some sort of a gun piece sitting up top. So I'm guessing maybe around that length.
I see.
So about 5 more inches longer than the vamp or whatever.
And probably a little wider too from the look of the figures in there.
Yeah. And I'm wondering, like, probably I'm guessing maybe, because I see Jonathan talking about Ramen Toy, maybe like the same length as the tank that they got coming up. So I also wanted to point out this. Let me get rid of this and do this. Ramen also popped up on their website, the Gatchaman Eagle Sharp with Kin. So they got this. It's $110 on an early bird right now.
That's cool.
It's mask size, right? Like maybe about mask size.
I assume that's what it was, yeah.
Yeah. So it looks really good. So they have that up for pre-order right now.
And it's 110.
Yeah. So those things kind of came up after I did the presentation. So that's why.
Gotcha, man.
So if you're into that. So anyways, this is the hot or not section. Let's the toys revealed that you didn't know you needed. You're right, Jonathan. That tank is probably going to be too big.
It's huge, man.
And from what I understand, if you got a airplane on the way, it should be coming by the end of the month.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They're asking for people to update their shipping by a certain date. So it looks like maybe June, July, probably get them in the hands before Comic-Con, I'm guessing. Rattler.
Cool. Yeah, that would be cool.
All right. So
who does?
The Old Villains of Detroit are up for order. Have you guys seen these RoboCop figures?
Are those 8-inch?
I think they're whatever the NECA size is, right, for the RoboCop.
F7.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
yeah.
but it's cool because they look like they come in these like little VHS style packages, which are kind of cool.
Yeah.
Here's the 4 of them together.
Have they done a RoboCop version with his arms and legs all blown apart like
I
that?
don't know.
Where
Because
it's all a bloody mess on the ground?
Yeah, they have a Murphy. They have a Murphy that an Alex Murphy.
that's all
Yeah.
shot up.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. I mean, but they look good, man. The face sculpts on them look pretty good.
Because they did the melted version of that guy, right? Didn't they do him? I thought I saw a melted version.
Did they?
Remember when he got all toxic and he got hit by the car and exploded?
Oh, spoiler alert!
I know. If you haven't seen RoboCop yet, darn it.
It ruined it, yeah.
Anyways, they
He
look
looks
pretty
the
good.
weirdest of them. His face doesn't quite match the actor, where the others look pretty darn good.
Okay, so Big Bad has these down as 1/10 scale. That doesn't sound right. So they are
Isn't 1/10 like a 7-inch?
It says 7.28 inches.
Huh.
Okay, so they're big.
So they would.
That's
that would
interesting.
be a little bit. I mean, I guess like one.
Well, you can't have them. You
Wait a minute,
can't have the. You can't have the villains be taller than your RoboCop. That
Are
doesn't-
these NECA?
But they're not NECA. No. I've never
Oh.
heard of these guys. JFS Toys.
Oh,
Oh.
shoot. I thought they were NECA. So, yeah, 9-inch. Jonathan's saying 9-inch. So, yeah, I mean, unless they're doing like RoboCop and stuff, why would you want all these guys?
Yeah, because your RoboCop has to be taller than these guys.
Yeah.
Oh, man, this throws a wrench and stuff because honestly, I thought that was NECA. You know what this is like? This is like that new Star Trek action figure company cranking out like red shirt dudes. The nacelle line. Hey, let's pick the most obscure characters that nobody wants and make action figures out of them.
Yeah.
But they did a great job. I mean,
Yeah, and we'll do it. Yeah, and we'll just make people wish that we had main characters.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Maybe that's their plan. Maybe they're gonna do a RoboCop later on and make it a big one. But if it is a little bit bigger than these guys, because they're $66.99,
Wow.
man, RoboCop's gonna be a lot.
All right. Well, Judge Jet wants the team from Predator. That would be a good team.
Yeah, I've often wondered why they've never done the whole group. You know?
They did. They're just really hard to find.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? I thought
Oh,
they just did. I thought they just did Arnold.
No, I'm pretty sure NECA did all of them. But man, they're like grails. The aftermarket is ridiculous on those.
All right. Emil's supposedly 6.7 inches. That's what Lone Dragon's saying. Hey, Lone Dragon, haven't seen you before. Thanks for joining us.
Oh,
Clarence is 7.28. So they're different heights, maybe based by how tall their characters are.
Pickle Rick.
All right. All right. And then that is still pretty cool. But I mean, I got to see how they fare up against the NECA RoboCop, right? To say, like, if I would want them. Unless they make a RoboCop.
And again, but then you're talking about, you're $65 a figure plus the RoboCop.
Yeah, that's true. So, John, are you all in on these superpowers figures?
No, I'm getting the no, none of these.
He said,
All right. So, superpowers. Let's grab them while we can because we know that McFarlane's is no longer going to have the license for DC come the end of the year. All right.
and he's gonna milk it for every Batman he can
Yeah,
think
he
of.
sure did. Look at that. Lex Luthor and Ultraman. And that is not to be confused with the Ultraman that fights a kaiju, even though there's a kaiju in this Superman movie.
That's a really small kaiju, though.
Yes. No, the big one that's in the trailer.
Yeah,
There is
isn't
an
that what's
Ultraman.
standing next to Lex Luthor?
Yeah, but this is not
Oh, it's
the
a baby one. Oh, okay.
yeah, this is not the Ultraman from the Monster Attack Force or whatever, the MAT team. This is Ultraman from a DC Comics.
It's a Superman movie.
Right. Because he's in the Superman movie. He's the one that pushes Superman into the concrete.
Yeah.
All right. So suited guy and a dude with all one color.
So maybe that big kaiju in the movie is only attacking because Lex Luthor stole its baby?
Or maybe that baby gets modified and becomes that giant kaiju and attacks for Lex Luthor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He
I think we
drops.
just
He drips out of a little syringe. He drips some of that growth serum on it, and it gets so big it breaks out of the building and then attacks the city.
what happens is that Atom, which is a ripoff from Ant-Man, uses the what's the Atom's real name?
The Atom Force.
The atom particle, and he throws the atom particle disc at the little kaiju, making him turn into a giant.
Yep.
And what we perceive as anger is just a small kid not knowing how to express himself.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think he takes an eyedropper and drips some little growth serum on him.
All right. Moving along. Here's the hot girl figure from McFarlane. And I wanted to point out that McFarlane was sure to send this to me in an email and make sure that I knew it was not a toy.
Oh.
No, but it's because they're showing prototypes. So they're basically saying this is a prototype, this is not a toy. But it just looks funny to me that they're highlighting the fact that it's not a toy, but you know, they should have said not at the actual toy or something like that.
Yeah.
All right. What did Dan say in the chat? Jonathan, yeah, they look awesome, but man, just too much. Yeah. Everything. Yeah. All right, hot girl. I know you need hot girl for your collection, right, John?
But she's not a toy.
No, I don't really buy a bunch of the DC ones.
Oh, that's sad. Do you even buy DC comics?
Not much.
Okay.
I might pick up a Batman here and there, but that's about it. Like sometimes when Superman and Batman are in the same comic working together, I like that dynamic.
Yeah, I used to like the detective comics, you know, the Batman detective comics. Those used to be my favorites. And Green Lantern, Green Arrow.
Yeah, that was good back in the day.
Yeah. All right, and here are I don't know what these are supposed to be. Are these supposed to be like 15-inch? Like they're not plushes, so are they soft vinyl? I'm guessing.
Sure.
Creepy looking. That's what.
And
I want to know what Baby Joey is. Like I've never heard of this thing.
I don't. Yeah, I guess we're gonna have.
When
to
I
find
saw
out.
the little baby with some of the figures, I thought maybe it was a baby Brainiac, but Baby Joey.
Yeah, Baby Joey.
Oh yeah.
Every time I see more of what's in Superman, I start going, how much stuff are they packing into this one movie?
Well, he's got to relaunch an entire franchise at once.
And how much of it's going to be like pointed out and really part of the plot, or how much like is Baby Joey just something that runs by in the background once?
Yes, probably.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah.
I almost feel like we've seen every time, like we've seen all the Green Lantern we're going to see in the movie.
You think? Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, is that,
Right.
Are they just going to be like stuff? People are just going to be in a scene or two and not like part of the main plot of the movie. And like, it's just, yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe they won't make it in at all. Maybe they filmed them and just doing the figure.
It's kind of an interesting thing though, because not only are they like really trying to capitalize on this movie, they are really trying to capitalize on every single thing that they can push out related to the show. Yeah.
And I like how, and notice how they are pushing this stuff out before the movie comes out.
Yeah. It's almost like the Acolyte figures.
Because like if you watch the film, you're going to be like, wait a minute, Baby Joey just ran by in the background. Why would I want to figure him? Where if you're buying it now, you're like, well, I'm going to buy all these figures, and then
because they're going to be cool. This movie looks so awesome.
And then like when you actually see the movie, you're going to be like, damn it, I got all these figures and stuff that's barely in it, you know?
Right. Yeah. So John is saying that he wanted should have done Hot Girl for the Black Adam movie
instead of Hawkman.
Yeah, instead of Hawkman.
Yeah. Judge says movie's a lot hard with these characters in it.
All right, let's see. And more superheroes from McFarlane. These are the Super Friends.
Yep.
So when was Superman? I'm trying to remember in Super Friends when Superman had a kryptonite thing around his leg.
I know they've done it before. I remember the ball and chain.
Okay.
He got married.
I just don't remember what it was in. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was a one-shot series where he got married.
And I feel like, yeah, okay. And I feel like Mr. Freeze's gun isn't necessarily correct.
Isn't that Captain Cold?
Okay, Captain Cold. Sorry. Is his gun right? Because it just looks like a regular pistol almost.
Yeah.
Shouldn't it have like a big thing on the front or something like that?
Is that the Toy Man?
Yeah, and hold on, I'm gonna get rid of this. You can see he's got a Superman toy in his hand.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. See, I have issue with the way they make the waist on these figures. Like, I just don't like. The rest of them look great, and then they have that weird looking waist. The T shape, you know?
Yes, it looks weird.
Like, especially on the Flash. Like, look at that.
But you know what's interesting?
Looks so disconnected from the rest of the figure.
Have you seen like the way Mattel used to do the figures? Mattel used to do the DC figures with that same type of thing, but they had another pivot, so he could do splits.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I know there was some hate for them, but I never disliked the Mattel DC universe. They were decent figures.
They look pretty good. They're not bad. I mean, like, they weren't expensive either.
No, I mean, they had a low budget sculpt on some of them, granted, but
yeah,
they weren't terrible.
All right. G.I. Joe revealed this reveal. John, is this one for your collection?
No.
Or are you trying to figure out who he is?
Is that Buddha?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm saying based on the helmet, it's Buddha, but
yeah, I think you're right. Beyond me at this point, though.
Yeah, but I didn't have him as a kid, so I probably wouldn't get him. He looks really cool, but
I liked all the armor and stuff. Oh, go ahead.
That's what I mean. That's great.
I was gonna say, I think he was in the later series, wasn't he, John?
Yeah, Budo came out later. I do have the original Joe's version of. I think I've got two different versions of Budo, but it's just like it was. I've bought it as an adult because it's part of the vintage line, but I never really had it as a kid, so I feel like I don't need it for the classified. You know.
Yeah. The coolest thing about this is all of the armor and it looks like it's comes off, right? Like, so it looks really cool, but seeing it like this now, I already know it's got to be a deluxe. There's no way.
But that doesn't mean though. If I do see it at Ross or something for $10, I'll definitely be grabbing it.
Yeah, good luck. That thing's never gonna be 10. You're never gonna find it because what's gonna happen and for $10 or even 16, just like with all those 60th anniversary ones that showed up at Ross, the first person that sees them is grabbing all of them.
Gonna buy them all.
I've not seen one. So
they're all thinking the same thing.
Exactly. Yeah. This is gonna definitely it's a pass because of exactly what Jonathan's saying. It's going to be a lot more expensive. Maybe a Target when you get like one of those spend 60, get 10 off. Then if you pair it with like something else, then you feel like you're getting a deal, or maybe they do a 50%, something like that. But yeah, he looks cool though.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like the armor. He does look cool. Yeah.
Right. All right. And then we'll start here with the Marvel Legends panel that came out last week. The first figures that showed off were the Fantastic Four. And I know, John, you said you don't do MCU figures, but are you interested in any of these first step figures?
They look fantastic.
No pun intended.
Yeah, no pun intended. But I mean, no, I've already got my Fantastic Four team, and I don't feel like these are enough of an upgrade to make me want to put these and sell the old ones. You know
what do you think about this?
Especially when I think she comes with the exact same accessory that I already got.
What do you think about the box though with that classic Hasbro logo on it? Is it worth that just to have like a new box with that old logo?
No, I don't buy them for the package art.
But would this be like, since you already have your set, would this be like a set to get and say, oh, this is kind of cool, and just leave them in the set?
It is kind of cool, but no, I'm not. I just don't want to spend that money right now on that.
Okay. Anyways,
But I do like the light blue outfits better than because mine are kind of that dark blue one they had a few years back.
That's what I have. Yeah.
And I do like the light blue better, but I just don't. Well, the other part too is I don't want the head sculpts of Pedro Pascal and the other guy. I don't mind Sue Storm the way she looks here.
Okay.
But I don't mind the Thing and Johnny when he's on fire.
Okay.
But the other two male characters look like I don't want those head sculpts. I want the cartoon classic. Okay. Like I want the classic cartoon.
So here we'll talk about
with the white on the side of the black hair with white on the sides.
So I'm going to tell you what my criticism with this figure is. One, they have we're going to get to it, but Johnny Storm and a Human Torch figure, and this one is named Invisible Woman, so it makes me feel like we're not going to get a clear figure.
No, probably not.
And so I wish that this one was Sue Storm, so that we at least felt like we were going to get another figure of her invisible, because they have not showed her invisible yet.
Did they do that with the other ones where they launched, where they did have her invisible?
Well, they only did it with the one that was carded, and that was a special edition version that you had to buy that was invisible.
Yeah, they did one with that other movie, though, where she was partially invisible, right?
That's right. They did that, yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, the head sculpts look pretty good, but I got another picture here. What do you guys think? Who do they model Invisible Woman after?
Jessica Alba.
The comic book. Neither one of these two girls. It's the comic book.
Felt like she looked more like Miley Cyrus than Vanessa Kirby.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right. Anyway, so here is, see, you got Johnny Storm and
Johnny Storm.
Human Torch. Two completely different figures, right? So
but they did this in the clear red. Yeah, you're right. Like, why wouldn't they?
Yeah. I like that.
I think the Human Torch looks cool.
Oh, it does. The clear red looks great. Yeah.
You almost don't even need Johnny Storm, honestly.
No, you don't.
You know what I mean? Like, you
I'm not going to put them both on the shelf next to each other. You know what I mean? Like,
well, if you were doing like, say, something like a making video or stop motion, right? You can have Johnny Storm figure going flame on, and then you can do like the and then you could probably, boil and pop him and change some of the limbs or whatever, so he looks like he's partially on fire or something. That would have been like some cool options.
Yeah.
All right, and then some more Human Torch. I think it looks good.
Great, yeah. I'm also very curious when you get to her, if you've got the shots that show that articulation on the surfer.
Yeah. You know what's interesting about this is they were obviously updating Hasbro Pulse, getting ready to launch these things on like Thursday, and this guy popped up on Wednesday on Hasbro Pulse's site. So there was a period of time where you could go check it out and look at the description and stuff and see who was coming. So
again, I think it's those guys when they're working on the website, someone accidentally hits publish on one of the figures, and they're like, "Oh crap! I hit the wrong button."
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I know you guys probably don't care about the Shala Ball figure, but I'm interested in picking this one up. Just
look at that. If those poses aren't fake, I mean,
no, yeah, those are actual figures.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty cool. And then I'm hoping that because the board is a little bit bigger, it'll be easier to like kind of stand. And the fact that it comes with a stand is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Right. Like I'm actually thinking about using this board for my Silver Surfer, and then I don't know, and then putting this one off to the side, or maybe with the Silver Surfer on the board. I don't know. we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, you got to see how her foot's obviously the front one's pegged in.
I hope. Yeah, I would think so, unless they glued it.
There's a peg on the top of the board. Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully, there's a little peg to help them out.
I think
What?
Do you remember the Legends, the Legends, the Toy Biz ones? They had the board had a magnet.
Oh yes, I remember.
Oh, huh.
Yeah. Oh, that could be a cool option too if it doesn't come with anything. John is saying the best thing about a bad Human Torch is the makes for good firewood. Yeah, but then you got to smell the burning plastic.
Yeah.
All right, and there is. See, did they call this guy the Thing, or did they call him Ben Grimm?
I can tell you.
And notice there's no human form of Ben Grimm.
Yeah.
I did like the fact that they talked about some of the articulation on the figure, especially like with the elbow. So you know you're going to get the same articulation that you can get out of the Hulk. It's probably almost the same sculpting, right?
I kind of wish he had shorts instead of long pants, though.
Yeah, but I think this is because this is how they have him in the movie, right?
Yeah, but I mean, even for the movie, I think he should have had shorts instead of long pants.
Yeah, that's true. I've recently got the older Mattel DC UC CNC Solomon Grundy and Apache Chief. Yeah. I have my Solomon Grundy in the garage.
Yochimohai Mo Hayaku, or whatever he yelled. Like he got big, remember?
Yeah. Okay, so that is the Thing. And then I thought what was really cool is the Mr. Fantastic. Now, see, this will be interesting to see if you could do a head swap, right? With like a comic book version of.
Yeah, I don't want a Pedro Pascal head.
I think I'm on board with you, John. I think it would be cool if, like, I knew I could swap out the head and maybe put on like a Fantastic. It's cool to do like a thing for a movie, but to be able to get the bendy, stretchy arms and stuff like that, I think look really, really cool. And I know that it did this once before, right? With that movie, the previous movie, the Silver Surfer movie, or those guys. When that movie came out, they did a bendy arms figure for Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah,
Did a bunch of them.
Yeah.
They had one where Reed has his arms wrapped around the Thing.
I want to ask Northern Nomad a question really quick. Is this the Solomon Grundy? Because that's mine.
That's a cool looking Grundy.
Yeah. All right.
Custom.
Yeah, I think
born on a Monday, right?
What?
Solomon Grundy was born on a Monday.
Was he?
You never heard him do his rhyme?
No.
Really?
I think it looks pretty cool. And the promo pics actually made his outfit look darker blue than
in the light blue one. It really looks like he's wearing a turtleneck sweater, which makes the outfits terrible.
This is where I'm a little worried with the Human Torch, right? Because Human Torch figure has that same kind of neck, and what it looks like here is the turtleneck part is molded onto the chest piece. So then it makes me wonder if it's basically just a peg that comes out and the only articulation is at where the head and the neck meet. I was thinking that with the Human Torch figure, it should have also had an articulation point on the lower part of the neck where the neck and the chest meet, because when he's in the flying pose, without that extra articulation, it'll be hard to get him looking forward. Yeah. Now, I know that picture they have him looking forward, but it doesn't look like, he's looking forward as much. It's the same issue that you always have with like Spider-Man that doesn't have that lower neck articulation, right? He can only pivot his head up. So he can only look forward. You know what I mean? When he's in that pose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Jonathan said just the head looks articulated. Yeah. So I think for figures like that, they need that extra articulation point. But anyways, that is Mr. Fantastic. Now, John, would you be interested in getting one of these or getting that set if you knew you could head swap them?
Still probably not, just because I'm happy with the set I have.
Okay. I was just curious.
I've got them flying around Galactus, and
Sure.
I like
And
the way that they look.
Dan, are you interested in these?
I'll probably cave on the Human Torch, but I don't know if I want the rest of them. Just the Human Torch one, not the Johnny Storm.
Yeah, Human Torch will fit in with any of your Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
And
Like
then-
any other ones, I'm gonna want the set.
Yeah, and then the Shala Ball, I'm definitely going to pick up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll get her too.
All right. And then we get into these Capcom Gamerverse figures. This is Wolverine versus the Silver Samurai.
And you guessed
Dan
it. didn't
Yunes-
you?
What?
I said you guessed it.
Yeah, Dan Yunes. Well, did you see how I guessed it though?
Oh, they bought the picture at the bottom.
Yeah, so he had the picture and it was cut off kind of at the feet, but if you download the picture and you manipulated it in your phone, you could brighten it up and stuff like that. And I got up to the part where I could see like Silver Samurai's like waist piece and stuff, so I could see more of the boots. That's how I knew. And then I could see Wolverine's like sheaths. That's how I knew it was actually the picture from the game.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sneaky.
Yeah, it was. Now I hear a lot of people are just interested in some of these effects.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They do kind of look. They're different. It's not something that we've seen before.
right. That's true.
This Wolverine looks really beefy.
I think all of these figures kind of have a beefier look to them because,
The game look. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, Dean's in the chat saying, hanging with my son and going to the gym soon. Chester and Bicep Day. Okay, say hi to Chester for us.
Yeah, say hi to Chester.
Is that Chester?
Say hi
Cheetos?
to Chester and Bicep.
Is that? Oh, so he's working his biceps and eating Cheetos. That's
Yep.
what it's code.
Blue Dragon's passing on everything but Juggernaut.
Oh, Psylocke and Thanos. Now, I almost wish you could get half a set.
I know, yeah, because that's a good looking Psylocke, and I don't have a Psylocke like that
I'm exactly with you. I
For
don't
my-
have one.
for my X-Men shelf.
So here's my problem. They
How
said
much-
they were talking about this during the stream, and they said all new sculpt. And I felt like he said all new sculpt, and I was trying to decipher. I tried to watch it back a couple of times to see if he meant this is an all new sculpt for Psylocke. Because it's misleading in a way if you say this figure has an all new sculpt, because you could say, yeah, this figure has an all new sculpt, but this is not a new sculpt. This is basically the Target exclusive Black Widow sculpt. It has all the same articulation points on it.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to recreate a couple of the poses, and this one has the upper torso. It has this little break point right here, in the waist. The same swivel has
Butterfly
the same.
joints.
Yep, same butterfly joints right there.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily an all new sculpt. It might be all new for Psylocke. Like Psylocke was updated with this newer sculpt, but that newer sculpt was already used. So curious, it almost sounded like he said it, but it maybe wasn't part of the scripting, and it was kind of just thrown in there.
And the Thanos looks the same to me as the other
Yeah.
Thanos I have.
So
Yeah,
But-
Jonathan got a point too for the price of that 2-pack. You can get a Apex Psylocke.
it's true. Now you could always get the 2-pack, and somebody might want Thanos for $20.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
that's-
And then you're only if it's 50, then you're only paying $30 for the new Psylocke, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully. But I mean, that's a gamble too. If everybody does it, nobody's going to want Thanos for $20.
It's
They're
true.
going to want him for 10.
It's a gamble. It's a tough one.
Of course, you can always take that Thanos and put a Hulk head on it.
Dragon says just spend the money on the other better lines that they also collect, or wait for a maximum cap. John,
Okay.
They always get her hair wrong. Oh, Psylocke. Yeah, they do have a different version of it.
Yeah, they have a different version. Hey, John, thank you. I really appreciate this super chat.
Oh, look at that.
Really appreciate it. They always get her hair wrong. They do have a second head, which I did not get, where the hair is like off to the side, and then she has that little like electric effect on it. But anyways, hey, John, I really appreciate it. We appreciate everybody's generosity here.
I gotta be right back.
Okay, John, he's got to go. See ya. He's got to get ready because he's going to the movie, so he's going to take a shower now.
So he doesn't fall asleep.
Yeah. Anyways, Thanos is a big figure too. Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that it's offset by Psylocke being kind of a smaller character, right? That it's not like a $60 set and it's like a $50 set. But can you imagine? It's true, Jonathan. I need to watch again. Sounded to me, they said at the beginning that these figures were the entire subline for that particular game series and not the first wave from the games, which would be bonkers.
Well, yeah, because how many? I mean, there was quite a few characters in the game, right?
Yeah, right. Anyways, Psylocke was the best one out of this two set. That's for sure. See, War Machine looks like he's got that huge chest too, right? Like updated torso where he looks big, or you think it's the angle?
Yeah, and I see what you're saying. But yeah, it just looks like his head's set back, or maybe they got his head cocked back a little bit.
Yeah, I still think this whole reveal set was kind of fun to watch as they were like unloading them. Right, I was like, oh yeah, that's a good set. That's a good set. If you don't have War Machine, oh, if you don't have this, you could totally see it. And then yeah,
that's a good Omega Red. Yeah,
right. With the accessory pieces too.
I like the head hair sculpt.
Yeah.
Don't we have like 3 different Omega Reds though?
Maybe. Yeah, but I mean, there's some reuse with everything, right? I mean, like, is that War Machine really new or just new paint?
It looks pretty.
I mean,
the chest looks bulkier for some reason, but the rest could be reused.
We were just saying that, John, and we were like, is it bulkier or is it just the angle of the picture?
Yeah, maybe it's just the angle,
yeah.
But that's a different head sculpt for the Omega Red than the one I got, but it might be the same body.
Yeah, it could be.
Is it?
My Omega Red doesn't have that head sculpt.
Which one did you get?
The last one that used that body with the same tentacles coming out from under the arms.
Let me go check.
All right. Should we play the music like from Jeopardy? Should we make Dan full screen while he's away so that we can highlight the fact that he just bailed on his chair? Yeah. Should we use this time to look clearly into his room and find out, is that one of those UV heated footrest things?
Is it
right behind him, or is that?
He needs to do an unboxing of that.
Yeah, what is that? And how many clocks do you really need? It looks like there's multiple clocks or something on the wall, on the side of that shelf. Are those all superhero clocks?
Yeah, he has an obsession with superhero clocks.
Yeah. And then, I saw something running. No,
I think he's got a parts bin in there.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
What do you think's
if
behind
his chair
that?
moved on its own, that would be freaky, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't that be crazy? What if he like crawls back in and starts moving his chair around just to freak you out?
I know, just to scare us.
Yeah. What do you think's behind that door? Should we ask him?
His garage.
Oh, you think that's the garage?
I don't know.
Yeah, could be.
No, but doesn't it go down the hall if you look to the right? I think that's
like you could see
like
over here,
a closet or a bathroom, because I think
I think the laundry room he said was over there or something like that. Yeah. All right, everybody's like, okay, we're gonna stop watching now.
Yep, they all left.
Sorry, I had to shuffle some things around to get to them because it was. Don't that look like the same?
No, because the hair's curving under the head. See,
but the second head sculpt there,
the face is the same. Is what I'm saying.
I'm just looking at the way the hair curls underneath the chin.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
they might
well-
have given the hair a little curl, but that,
They could have just moved the hair, John. Honestly,
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, yeah. I don't know. Looks like the same one to me.
But I don't think I got mine out of a 5-pack like that. I don't.
Well, there was another one. Was it the Juggernaut wave? Or the Apocalypse
Did I
wave?
get it with the Juggernaut or something? Maybe, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
all right, Omega Red and War Machine, and then you got Captain America and Blue Venom. John, I know you need Blue Venom.
I don't want a blue Venom. No. But that cap looks cool. Yeah.
That shield effect is awesome.
Yeah. But I do have to say, I kind of like the way the head is on that Eddie Brock, half venomized like that.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
They said they did that head before, though.
Really?
Yeah, they just wanted to do it in blue. I thought they said they did that head before, but they thought, oh, we do it in the blue. Let's see. This set looks cool. Let's see what pins in the legs. Yeah, pins in the legs. It's a repaint. I'm only going to get the Wolverine and Silver Samurai because I like the effects. I don't have a yellow suited Wolverine. It's either the door to the. Oh, we're talking about that door behind you. He's saying it's a billiard room.
The door to Dan's sex dungeon.
Yeah. Here's the problem with that Captain America. That Captain America looks so good that if I didn't get this Captain America, I'd seriously be considering it. This is the one that came with the broken shield. And the thing is, that's exactly the shield that I would want for this cap.
I know. It's like, I almost want to switch out my cap for this one because this is very comic booky.
Yeah.
Animated style kind of
with
stuff.
with the right shield and everything.
Yeah. And then I could sell the Venom, and I'm sure the Venom would sell.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. All right, and then like we talked about before, Gargantos or Shuma Korax, however you want to call him. There he is with us standing on his tentacles. You know what?
I really wonder if this one would end up on clearance or at Ross at some point.
It depends on the price.
Yep.
I wonder how many.
Yeah,
I wonder how many the stores would actually get of this. Yeah.
I think this is a fan channel and Amazon.
Oh, so it's not really going to like Target and Walmart and stuff.
Right. They probably felt like there's no way this is going to sit on a shelf.
That's what I mean. Yeah, they're not going to sell it at Target and Walmart. They're just going to sit there.
I wish that during their stream they would mention or put up on the little graphic the price points, right? Because you can speculate on what the price is going to be on this until June 18th. But until then, unless, John, you get that little email from Marvel with all the pictures and the description, we just got to guess.
Yeah, I don't. Let me look. Let's double check. We'll see if they've sent anything.
Yeah.
Dean says all fan channel Amazon, and he's gonna pass even though they look awesome, but he needs money for popcorn buckets.
Yeah. Who's gonna pass?
Dean.
Oh, he's gonna pass?
He said they all look awesome, but he's gonna pass so he can get more popcorn buckets.
I'm just saying, like, man, this guy is so crazy. Like, he can attach almost anywhere. Looks really cool. I don't know how you pass on an eyeball.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun, but I'm with you. I mean, if it's a $60 figure, I'm out.
Yeah. Now, I will tell you that when I was doing my research on that Sumagorath versus Gargantos, the one in Multiverse of Madness, they use Elizabeth Olsen's eye for the eye. They modeled the eye, yeah, because they were like, well, she summoned him, so they used her eye apparently or something like that. Lone Dragon saying maybe $99. Ooh, that's deep. Jonathan's up at 70.
I don't see anything sent so far, so we'll see.
I'm thinking that this has to be like right around $60. I just feel like it has to be.
I might get the eyeball guy, he says. No one wants to call it what it is. They're calling it the eyeball guy.
Hey, John, how about if I get this set and I sell you the little eye that goes with it?
Yeah, there you go.
A little.
Since you always want the little eyes.
Yeah, I want the little guy. Yeah.
Yeah. So there, no stand, and there he is on the shelf. It's big, man.
Yeah, it's got to be 60.
So who else would take this thing, get up early in the morning, and go wrap this thing around the shower head, and then just go to work?
I would totally do that.
All right. And then I saw this plant on my way out of my daughter's apartment, and I just had to look.
Oh,
There
it looks just like him.
Oh,
there was no eye in the plant, so we're good.
You could stick an eye in there just to.
I thought about it.
Out. Yeah.
I thought about trimming like 6 of those and then just bringing them home and just saying, "Yeah, I got my own."
and then sell it a custom Garganto.
Then I thought, like, I wonder how hard it would be to like make one of these, and what could you use for the legs? You know what I mean? Like if you were to go
Legs
to
built in from the looks of it.
yeah, craft store or whatever. Like, I wonder what would work. Anyways, thought about it. All right, and then Juggernaut. I think everybody's waiting for
That
Juggernaut,
looks
right?
the same as the Juggernaut I already have.
Yeah, but this guy's way bigger, John.
Is it?
I'll show you in a second. So, which one do you have, John? Do you have the lighter one or the darker one?
The lighter one, yeah.
Okay, so I just put the lighter one down because I was using the thing. So when they showed this off, let's go. There it is next to the new one. You see how the size difference?
Well, how do you know there's a size difference?
Because they have the two right next to each other.
Oh, they did? Oh, okay.
Yeah, they brought out the old one.
You edited that picture. Okay.
No. This is they're from their live stream. This is the older one and the newer one side by side.
Yeah, okay.
Dino's gonna get the thing and put it in his toilet and close the lid.
I'm fine with the one I have, so I don't really need to get the new one.
All right.
Even though it's a little bit bigger.
So Juggernaut, this Juggernaut right here is about the size of Hulk, right? They're about equal height and everything. And then this new one, which has like the butterfly joints and stuff like that, is probably looks like a good inch taller.
Yeah, I'd say. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he looks wider.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty cool in a way to like go, oh yeah.
But it sure does look like he's got the same hands and everything. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but they're bigger, John.
Like they upscaled the same figure just a tiny bit, you know?
No, yeah, but they gave him the butterfly joints for the arms so he can get greater reach.
Oh, okay.
Right? Like, you see how he's got his hands together? You can't do that. You can't do that necessarily with this figure.
No?
No. Like here.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I mean, yeah, there's
you broke it.
There's one way to do it.
No, Dean, no.
What did Dean do?
I'm talking about you.
Oh.
Dean's always breaking his figures.
Yeah, his arms. Anyways, that's about the best you could do, even if you it always had the same problem, this one.
Now did you have both did you have the Build-A-Figure and the one that came from the 2-pack?
Yeah, so this is the other one.
That's the BAF?
Yeah, I think so. This one actually fits together much better. But you can see that's as close as you could get the arms, even by like, right? Like,
yeah,
turning them to get the elbows, you can't even fist bump. But like, if you can see this guy right here can hold his fist basically in his hand.
At least from that angle, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it looks like he's holding his fist in his hand. Yeah, man, that thing is massive. That thing's going to be 75. Oh, that's going to be probably maximum series Hulk price, 60.
What was that 2-pack? The Colossus and Juggernaut. Was that 80?
Is that where I got them? That might have been
Oh,
what it was.
yeah,
The Colossus Juggernaut 2-pack might be the one that I have. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that was
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Yep.
That's the way. Yeah, that was how I got that. So.
Oh, you got a toe too? You got a toe joint? Well, Dragon's
Yeah, look, yeah. This new one has like the toe. So, and they're not calling it a maximum series.
Instead of NECA figure.
Right? I mean, they should have. Then they would have given them the soft chest, though.
Oh, yeah, to make it more liable for the articulation.
Yeah, Lone Dragon says he'd get them for 60. Dino wants to know if that Juggernaut's a NECA figure. Might as well have been. These figures are better than the Maximum line. Jonathan says, I'd say Jugs will be priced with Maximum Hulk. Yeah. I think we're on the same page on that 60. All right. And then that was it for the Hasbro Pulse reveals. And then you got Hot Toys. This is Hot Toys, right?
Why you want to squeeze this?
A 1/6 scale Thunderbolts figure.
Yeah.
And then, I put the two pictures side by side. I was trying to get the same pose. I didn't get exactly the same pose, but you can see that it's got a lot of it hits all the same articulation points, like the double jointed shoulder, pinless, elbows with the same articulation. It's got the same articulation points in the body, and the legs. So it wasn't to me. It's not a new sculpt.
Yeah.
But he did say it. So I don't know. Can't call him out because, I mean, it's either a new sculpt for Psylocke is what they'll say. Oh, it's a new sculpt for Psylocke. Anyways, how many of those figures are you going to pick up, John?
If I see the Captain America and I see the Psylocke, I would consider them just because I don't. I think that's a better cap than the one I have in my Avengers set, and then I would sell that old cap and I would sell the Venom, and then same thing with the Psylocke. I would just sell the Thanos and hope I can get something out of it to make it worthwhile,
Right.
Because I don't have a Psylocke, and that looks very much like the Psylocke I grew up with in the 80s and 90s for the cartoon and comic book stuff, But if I don't see them and I don't get them, I'm not going to be like crying about it. You know what I mean? It's kind of just like if I run across them in the store and at the time I have the money and I feel like I would like to do it, I'll do it,
Right.
That's about it, really.
Okay. I did want to show this real quick. So I saw this online, and this guy right here removed the torso for the Maximum Series Hulk. It's Kit Bash Customs.
And what did it look like underneath?
Well, you didn't even have to watch the video. You could just look at the thumbnail. Yeah. But I thought that what he was going to do was like maybe boil and pop it or remove the arms or whatever. But he said he watched another video where the person had taken apart, and apparently the arm pegs are kind of like locked in really well into those shoulder joints. So he ended up cutting the rubber. Wow. Like right under the arms. There's like a seam, and he used a razor knife to cut along the seams. And I don't know why you would do that either. But
that's what Judge says. Yeah, why would you do that?
But for 12,000 views, I mean, that's like $5. So $10 or whatever, right? I mean, he didn't even get his money back on his figure yet. No. You figure like, every 5,000 views is about $5 or whatever depending on how, the engagement and stuff like that. So you figure a 12,000 view video is about $10, let's say 8 to 9, right? Yeah. So
for what? Yeah. What did he prove? I mean, what was he what was he demonstrating? What was the?
Yeah, I don't know. I watched it because I was interested to know if you could take the arms off and then just slide it up, like you did with the Aces of Aviation to get those vests off.
Yeah.
And the main reason I was curious was because when I had made my video, there was like a nudge right here. And I thought that there was like a tear in the rubber.
Huh.
But it turned out, after all, so if anybody saw that video, I'm correcting this. What ended up happening was there's a seam right here. So right at the seam, because of the head was pushing down on the rubber, it made like a little indentation in the rubber, and along with the seam made it look like there was a rip in this rubber, but there wasn't. It was just a dent. So once I adjusted the head to where it wasn't pushing on that one little spot, it corrected itself.
Did you cut it out?
No, it just corrected itself. Like it would have been on this side here. So it's right here. So
I see the seam, yeah.
So it just corrected itself. So there's no cut in the rubber. So there's nothing wrong with it. It was basically just the pressure of the head pushing on it for so long left a mark, but it corrected itself. So what that guy did was when he took off, you can see like the neck piece in there. The neck piece comes up this high. So what he did was he took the rubber off, then he trimmed down the hard plastic underneath the rubber so that he could get this head to do that.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were talking about.
Yeah, that's what he was. And I was kind of a little interested in that, but not really. And I got to say, like, before you get it and you start thinking about this rubber and you start thinking, man, that is not going to stand the test of time, right? Like there's a lot of it not going to stand the test of time. Let me find a figure that's old that has something like that. Okay, let's just do this. So you got like, say, these old figures that have this soft, pliable rubber for their outfits. This is going to last a long time, right? These jackets, it's pretty much the same plastic, I think, that they use for this. So I think it's gonna like stand up. I think you're gonna be able to have this for a long time. I think that's what I think. I don't see it degrading as much. Now, the one thing I can see is from handling it is going to get oils and it may discolor, but probably not.
You saying collectors are greasy?
Yeah. Is Dino still in the chat?
Yeah, he says the Hulk video.
Can you call John and wake him up?
Get late. I'm gonna fall asleep.
Oh, man. Well, make sure you earmark the time on the video so you can go back and finish it.
Yeah.
It's at the point where I put John to sleep. Well, it's been a super exciting show. It's time for the entire audience to wake up now and go about your day.
The nap you didn't know you needed.
I gotta make a slide for that.
Here's anyway, the nap time you didn't know you needed.
Yeah, but I think that
they did it in Romper Room, right? When we were kids, didn't they have a
that rubber chest piece? I think really will kind of hold up over time. I think so. From my opinion, that's my opinion now. I mean, of course, only time will tell, but obviously, we'll see. What would be a great idea? Let's see.
Yeah, actually, if you did blow up, if you actually put firecrackers and stuff in there and took it out to a sand pit and blew up your sail barge, I bet you'd get 100,000 views.
I don't know. I think that they did it. I think that those people that blew theirs up only got like 5,000 views.
I thought
didn't somebody already do that once?
I thought Hasbro did it themselves, but
is that why they didn't do very well? So I did think about it, like with the what's that? The Hiss tank.
Really?
At one point, yeah, I had that Hiss tank that I picked up from a friend, and then I was like gonna hold on to it for somebody else, and then that somebody else kind of disappeared. So I ended up having this thing, but I ended up letting it go. Got everything, got my money back. So that was kind of nice. And then I have a Razor Crest in a box that maybe that's what I should do with the Razor Crest.
There you go. Now you know.
Yeah. Take it
Because
out
that
to the
guy
driveway.
who put those, remember that guy who put those vintage figures in his bathtub and melted them? He got like 1 million views.
Oh,
The
I
whole-
know that there's
All
what?
the vintage collectors hated him and threatened to kill him, but I mean, he got 1 million views.
I feel
Worth it.
like
Worth it.
I feel like just as a test, should we take some figures out and then melt them with like a blowtorch or something like that? I was trying to fix my Spider-Man, and the only Mego figure I was able to find at Ross for $3 was the Penguin. So I figured the legs would be the same size anyways as the Spider-Man, and it was the same new body. But the problem was getting the leg out of the body because they have this new attachment, and there's no way to peel the body apart. So it ended up just ripping the entire figure apart.
Gotcha.
So if you guys are thinking about doing the same thing, think again.
Don't do it. Again.
Number 4.
All right. Anyways, I think that was all the reveals this week. Does anybody else have anything they want to talk about before we head on out of here?
I don't know.
John's like, no, I want to take another nap.
I got a bunch of
The
bunch of adventure people on the latest video.
Yeah, I saw that. I was I was in the market looking for some adventure people because I actually wanted to make some custom figures out of them. I saw a lot on Goodwill, and I was bidding on them, but it got to be more than $20. So I'm done. But
yeah.
But I am going through my garage. I'm looking to get rid of some stuff.
Well, you know what some people do is there's photographs. I don't know if the actual, like, I don't know what you call these mock-ups, I guess. But when Kenner pitched Star Wars to Lucas and said these are what we're doing, they took adventure people and painted
they
them
mocked them up. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do, is make some mock-ups.
I know that I've seen photos of the mock-ups, but I don't know if those actually still exist as physical mock-ups. Like I think
that somebody on eBay is trying to sell their own mock-ups.
Yeah.
And they looked pretty cool. I took a screenshot of them and I was like, oh, if I pick up some adventure people, I'm just going to do this.
Yeah, people make them even today. They I know that they do. They look at those old photos and they try to copy it. Like the Chewbacca was hilarious looking. Like some of the stuff. Yeah.
All right, John, when is your quiz coming back?
Oh, you want another quiz day?
Yes, Jonathan Redmond's asking.
Yeah, we can do that. We'll get some people to play and we'll bring back another one sometime soon.
All right. And Dan, what do you got going on? Anything?
Not a whole lot, man.
All right.
Gotta travel next week. So.
Jonathan's like he's keeping it going just to see if John will fall asleep.
I'll sleep again.
He wants to record me snoring.
Yeah, I was hoping. Anyways, yeah, I don't have anything going on either. I am gonna repair this like tree beard thing, and I'm thinking maybe I'll film myself doing it. Nobody.
Yeah, the letter people. What were the letter people on Romper Room? What was the letter people?
I don't know what the letter people are.
Yeah, Sesame Street, wasn't it?
Was it Sesame Street that had the letter people? Okay.
Or was it Electric Company?
Or Electric Company? Yeah, we used to watch Electric Company, Romper Room.
Because the Easy Reader says this book is easy to read.
We got freaked out one day when that lady would always go like, "Oh, let's
now
see
he's
who's
keeping the
out there.
string going, Jonathan.
Let's see who's out there today." And they'd be like, "I see Cynthia and Adam, and oh,
they're just randomly saying names and like 100 Adam.
And one day she went, "Oh, look, and there's John and Mark." And we were like, "What? Like, did she really see us through the TV?" We're looking around like, you know.
At what age did you realize it was just common names?
Oh, yeah, we were like 4 when that happened, I think.
Yeah.
You know, so it freaked out a 4-year-old because we didn't know what was going on. You know?
Yeah. All right. Anyways, we'll be back next week with more reveals, more history, more stuff you didn't know you needed. Anyways, thanks for tuning in.
After I fall asleep, you're going to leave it running
more
and see when I wake up. Take bets on when I wake up.
If he falls asleep during the end rollout song, I will just leave him up by himself.
There you go.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next week. Thanks for hanging out with us again. Have a good weekend.
When you have addiction and your shelves are overflowing. Hold tight. When you don't know what new is coming, but you fear you might miss out. Just sit right back. Just relax and watch and listen. The Toy Duo team brings you what you need. The toy news you didn't know you needed. Action figures, TV news, all the pop culture you can handle.
I love it when a plan comes together. What?